Welcome to the Boujee Multipreneur podcast. I'm your host, Hillary Hushower-Jones. Tune into my show where we discuss how to attract more money so you can spend more money. Welcome back to the Boujee Multipreneur. I'm your host, Hillary. Today, I want to talk about embracing wealth and also maybe embracing your inner bouginess, if that's a word. I don't know. We'll see. So if you've been following me on the Boujee Multipreneur, I'd like to talk a lot about mindset, bringing in money, envisioning money. And then, I talk a little bit about my bouginess of my purchases and things I like to do in the vacations and trips. So today I want to talk a little bit about wealth and kind of get into maybe a little of the psychology of why it's okay to buy things and spend money on luxury items. And if you agree with me, great. If not, at least you heard my point of view. And I can't say that everything I say is maybe always correct or right. It's just my inner thoughts. And thank you for listening to them. So, why are we creating wealth, or why do you want to create wealth, right? Is it more than just paying our bills? It's about like accumulating the money so we have like a solid foundation for the life that we want, right? And what about our loved ones and all the support and like the causes that we care about that we want to donate to, right? Building wealth is having, everything paid for, but emergency fund, that safety net, right? Creating wealth like that makes it so we don't have to worry about things that happen, about medical emergencies or job loss or repairs on our house or our roof, right? I mean, I literally just had like so many roof issues with my commercial building where my chiropractic office is. And luckily I budget for that all the time. I have these emergency funds set up because I enjoy creating wealth and I enjoy the comfort it gives me having that. Building a financial wealth, there's some risk, right? It allows us also to have insurance policies. We can now have insurance policies for our health, our life, our disability, and property. Creating this wealth allows for us to just pad everything and make sure that we're protected and that our family's protected, right? Also with wealth and creating wealth, more is more passive income streams. I know that I have talked on this podcast about my love for passive income, and maybe it's not 100% passive, but I love like rental houses and different businesses that can maybe give us like passive income. Like the least I have to do, the better for me. But real estate, the stocks and bonds and buying other businesses to have people work in those businesses where you are just the owner and you are bringing in a paycheck. To me, that seems like an amazing passive income strategy. With wealth, we get to eliminate our debt, right? We're not always like thinking about all the debt looming, where it could be credit cards, it could be house, cars, or those dreaded student loan debts. So wealth and creating wealth really just gives us, what would you say, like maybe peace of mind, if you will? Those are the things I think of. But long term, we're looking at like even retirement, having wealth and creating wealth so that way when we get older, we are comfortable, we have everything taken care of, and we don't have to rely on others. And then really, if you're like me and in your 40s, do we really think Social Security is going to be around by the time we retire? Probably not. I mean, I don't count that into my retirement planning at all as even being an option, because I'm not going to wait around for the government to decide whether or not I'm going to get any Social Security money. I'm going to create this now, this life for me, this life for my family, and for my future. So I'm going to work my butt off to get it going, to create the wealth, because I also want the luxury. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But if you didn't grow up with even like generational wealth, this is like the point where we start to think about that is, what's our legacy going to be for our children and our grandchildren? I did not grow up with generational wealth. So I find this very intriguing. Like, what can I do now? What can I provide for them as far as like education or future like home ownership or future businesses? I mean, I have a couple of chiropractic offices. Are one of my kids going to want to take over that? Am I going to sell that? Like, what's going to be the generational wealth? And so I'm sure you've thought about that too. Like, what's this legacy that you were building that we're working so hard for? Who's that going to help? And why are we doing it? Is it something that you even care about? Maybe for someone like me that didn't have that, I find it fascinating. Like, what could I do to help out my future offspring and their offspring, right? What about, creating wealth for education, furthering your education, right? Like, there's always so much more that we can do and learn and get degrees. But the more money we have and expendable money that we can put in investing in our education and our own self, investing in our families and our kids' education. And then also, like I said, investing in what about other businesses? Once you have wealth, you have some more money to play around with starting another business, purchasing a business, making that business like a passive income stream for you. Having wealth gives you that capital to start these things. It gives you that freedom, if you will, to maybe do something that you've always wanted to do, but you didn't know if you could, like some passion. I don't know. Let's say you always wanted to do photography. Well, once you've been building wealth, you can start looking at these like passions and things that you want to do. It's also, as far as building wealth, I like to think about, what am I going to do? Who am I going to give back? And what kind of impact do I want to make with that? So, like charitable giving, right? One thing that I and my husband, we love to do is we love to go to these like charitable like galas and golf events, anything like that, where we can give back and support a cause that we believe in. Even if it's a new cause, we didn't even know about it. We were recently at a charity golf event. We didn't actually know what it was about, but it doesn't matter. We really enjoy giving back. We enjoy doing something like golf, to be around others, to give money back, and to really that's what we work hard for, is to do things, work hard, play hard. With extra money and financial resources, you have more power to even influence change in your area, in your community, or advocate for issues that matter to you. So, maybe it's a school issue, maybe it's a health, like with healthcare, maybe it's like a local government issue, things that like matter to you that now you can start pushing money at, that you can maybe make a better difference versus just complaining about it on social media, right? Actually getting to do something, get involved in it, whether or not you can. Maybe, like, for instance, I rarely have extra time to donate, but I love giving money to an organization for those maybe that it will help further their cause. And maybe there's other people that can donate time, but I'm more of a donate in the form of a check kind of girl. So I really enjoy having like that extra money to do those things with. Again, work hard, play hard, maybe give hard. That should be like a new slogan, so to speak. But I want to talk a little bit about luxury, as far as like the bouginess that I talk about in the Boujee Multipreneur. Like, once we've got this wealth, there are quite a few of us, myself, friends, family included, that we work hard and we enjoy the luxury side of things. So when someone asks, or they might say, let's say negatively, maybe you've heard it like, well, I don't need that, or I don't need those type of items. And that is totally fine. But some of us, we do. So let's talk about maybe some of the psychological reasonings, like why we reward ourselves with luxury items. Is it for me, it's motivation. I'm not going to lie. Like I didn't grow up wearing and getting some of these like high end things. And I always liked them. I like pretty things. I like things that sparkle and shine and glitter and are bright and pretty and the great texture. So that's motivation for me. I set goals with motivation at the end of usually an item or a trip. And once I hit that and I get that item, like my Louis Vuitton purse, my Gucci shoes, I do feel like I've achieved something. And I think that goes a long way psychologically for me to keep going and doing, because it's like, see what I accomplished and what I got. let's keep doing it. And it doesn't have to be an item per se. It could be that I reward myself with a weekend off or an extra day off or something else. Or sometimes I really just love to lay around and read a book. But I like that motivation, the reward, and the achievement that I did from whatever it was. Usually it's something to do with work, right? So the achievement, sometimes buying those items like my purses and my Gucci shoes, like I feel like that was a sense of achievement. Like, oh, I accomplished that. And I remember when I thought Nike shoes were too expensive for me. And so it's just like, look at all the hard work and where I've come, right? I set the goal, I've attained it. It makes me work harder and stay focused, really. This is why I print off pictures and I put pictures on my phone and computer of the things that I want. And then my goals, like I do this, I get this. It makes my journey of the goal like more exciting. Buying items, setting those goals and rewards, it gives you like the affirmation of success, right? Like you did this, you're capable. It boosts self-esteem and confidence too. Some people might use the luxury items and luxury trips and stuff as like a social thing or like a status and achievement. And that's fine too. Especially when you're around other people in your peer group where you guys all want those same things. Like you want the luxury items. You are all bougie, if you will. You like the trips, you fly in first class, you like VIP, you want the special rooms, like that type of stuff. It's nice to be around other people like-minded because we all work that hard. We all want to be together and share in those successes too. But rewarding yourself, even with luxury items or not, it really does gives you like that positive emotion aspect to it as far as like the happiness, the satisfaction, like you've contributed, your overall happiness and well-being, kind of it increases, right? Reduces the stress of the daily life, especially when you can get that item that you've always wanted and you've worked so hard to achieve. So I'm a huge fan of like setting the goals and the rewards. And I really don't like it when people don't set those and take it. Like, for instance, let's say I'm like, I want a new Gucci purse and here's my goal and I hit the goal. Like I have to do the reward in my mind. Like if I don't get that, then I'm telling myself that I wasn't good enough for some reason to get it, even though I hit that goal. So maybe my mind won't try to hit the goal again. All these like little psychological aspects that come into play. And I realize I'm just like skimming this for everyone. There's probably like so many books that you could go into detail, but we don't have time. I like these short podcasts for a reason, things to think about. Make the goals, hit the goal, get the reward. You have to keep doing that over and over. And it will just like, it just reduces the stress. It gives you like the break from the life, helps you kind of like recharge and rejuvenate. I mean, that's why I like to set goals that are even vacations and usually without the kids, to be honest. So setting the rewards, we're looking at like your work-life balance. Like I was telling you, work hard, play hard. I'm going to say spend hard. Maybe that might be my new thing that I say, but prevent like burnout, prevent, short lifespan even for that. Right. I mean, we need to enjoy what we have. I feel enjoy life right now. Cause honestly, we don't know how long our life is. Right. So appreciating and valuing the things that we have now and valuing how hard we work now to achieve those things. So buying luxury items, setting the goals can, even inspire us for future goals. Like how many of you sit around and talk to friends about their future goals and what they do with that money and, what their next goal and item is, like, do you know your best friend's goal right now with her work, her life? Do you know what her reward is when she hits that goal? These are some great things to think about. And, it could be your spouse, best friend, a family member, but like really learning what other people are doing. And maybe that will even kind of push you forward a little bit. And like, wow, if she can do that and she's envisioning, a 20-day trip across Europe, flying first class everywhere, maybe I can do that too, right? So things to think about, how the wealth pushes you for even like continuous growth. But on the flip side, you also need to be around those type of people. And I've shared that in another podcast about making sure you are surrounding yourself with people like-minded, and honestly, people maybe even like a level up than you, if you will, so to speak, people that have been there already, because maybe you don't know what you can achieve, or maybe you don't know what your end goal could be until you hear about something else. There are so many luxury items and trips that we have bought this year and taken or going to take that I wouldn't actually have thought was imaginable 5 years ago, if you will. So let's also talk a little bit about maybe some criticism that we hear. So if you are bougie like me, you probably hear some of this and you'll laugh as we go through this. But some people talk about, well, it's a wasteful, right? They see buying luxury items as wasteful. But a lot of things, like for instance, one of my top things and goals that I want to get is a Rolex. Something like that. Those items that are super luxury, they actually are more of an investment too. So some of these things could be an investment where I don't have to buy a new watch every so many years because they break down. When something's made quality, that's an investment, and there's less items, less metal out there being thrown away because it stopped working. So my little Timex, instead of buying that all the time, getting something nice, investing in quality, but also the resale on something like that later on, right? Have we thought about that? When we're spending money on these luxury items, are you also thinking about the people that made them? Those artists that made and had to create certain things, and all the people in the factories that made that item, money is going towards them too. So it's not that, my $5,000 purse didn't help anyone out. It's supporting even the salespeople at the store, their families, etc. Like they're making more per hour than the sales clerk at Walmart. So thinking about too, like we are supporting a lot of people and their families. And some of us would rather have high-end items over a plethora of low-end items, if you will. Some people might say, as far as like criticism for us bougie people, is that it's more of like materialistic kind of thinking. And I'd like to say that, enjoying luxury doesn't equal being materialistic. We just appreciate things. We maintain like a life balance. We focus on experiences, relationships, and growth, just like anyone else. So the luxury items, they reward us for our hard work and within reason, right? It's not like I'm purchasing items that I literally can't afford, that is taking the food off the table for our kids, right? So we're not thinking like that. We're thinking about, us using our extra wealth to purchase these luxury items, trips, houses, etc. Another criticism about being bougie and having extra wealth is that the successful people maybe can support more as far as like charitable causes, donations, community things. Like that's, we call it like more like wealth distribution, right? We're using our money in the community for different events. And I love being able to do that. I was talking about that with the golf outing. I love going to the galas and dressing up and donating a lot of money, bidding on auction items, things like that, because I really want to give back, and I prefer to give back in money versus my time. Like for me, that's the better exchange right there. So I do love, and back in the day when I didn't have money, I did give time, but I love like giving back with our wealth and things like that. So there's a lot of like negative things. We don't want to keep going drawing on about that. But I think there's a great way that we could shift things around, wealth and luxury, instead of feeling guilty about it and being criticized about it, to more of like an appreciation and a balance of it, where we appreciate some of the finer things in life. We're balancing our work life we're balancing our goals and our rewards, and we're celebrating more of this success with the luxury items. Because it still has to be like in a healthy manner, right? We can't just keep buying. But it also, it needs to align with like our current values and our financial stability at the time, right? So I like to think that, luxury and wealth is not, always negative. It can be positive. It can be like motivating, and it definitely motivates me as an entrepreneur, a bougie multipreneur, if you will, to keep going and seeing those end results. So I hope that you enjoyed my little 20 some minutes of talking about luxury and wealth. And maybe it makes you feel a little bit better about it too. I know my friends and I talk about this, but just because we like the higher end things and we like to travel in style, if you will, doesn't mean that we aren't giving back all the time to our communities, to our PTOs, to nearly every organization that asks I give to. So I hope that you are making your wealth. I hope that money is dropping effortlessly into your lap. I hope that you're setting your goals and rewards, and I hope you're also giving back. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. Click subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and let's make some money.